Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is a meeting for the Terrace Lodge Fundraising Committee on May 16th. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see a few faces in person and many faces online. I'm so thrilled. We haven't seen each other, neither online or in person, in a long time. So very, very happy to be able to get back in business this evening. Should we start with approving the agenda for this evening? Any omissions or suggestions, things to add or remove? If not, I'll ask for a mover and seconder to approve the agenda for this evening. Richard? Who did I see? Ruth Ann? All in favor? Do you have to call it?
I should call it, yes.
Okay, let's call the vote.
All right. Amaryllis Juilliard.
Yes.
Pete Barber.
Yes.
Jim Jenkins.
Yes.
Ruth Ann Perrin.
Yes.
Richard Kasul.
Yes.
Councillor Giguere.
Yes.
6-0, the motion is carried.
Thank you. And one item that's not officially on the agenda, well, kind of under the revised terms of reference, but is to welcome a brand new member from Dutton Dunwich, Amaryllis. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining this committee. Can I put you on the spot just a little bit to introduce yourself?
Sure. I didn't prepare. I'm Amaryllis Juilliard, and I am currently serving as the Ward 2 councillor in Dutton Dunwich. I serve on a few local boards, and I'm excited to join you on this this fundraising committee. It's kind of up my alley. So I work in education. I'm an educational assistant. In my previous life, I worked in for women's services, and I also worked as a long-term care as a recreation director. So this is really up my alley. So I'm thankful to be here.
Thank you, and we are very thankful that you've decided to join us. I know someone like you has many options, many committees, many opportunities to volunteer, and yeah, we're so thrilled that you're with us. So, and have we met Christine before? Yes? So welcome. Thank you for being with us. Representing Terrace Lodge.
Yes. Christine Leonard, I'm the administrator at Terrace Lodge.
Thank you for being with us this evening. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none. We don't have any. Oh, let's do the minutes. Yes, adoption of minutes of February 7th, combined with the notes from March 7th. Any errors or omissions? So those were in your package, in tonight's meeting agenda package. We're good? So could I have a mover and seconder, please? Pete, Jim, let's call the vote.
Amaryllis Juilliard.
I don't believe I can vote. I've read the minutes, but I wasn't in attendance.
True.
Good call.
Pete Barber.
Yes.
Jim Jenkins.
Yes.
Ruth Ann Perrin.
Yes.
Richard Kasul.
Yes.
Councillor Giguere.
Yes.
5-1, the motion is carried.
Thank you for that. So we don't have any delegations, so we'll move to the next item, our briefings. So the first one this evening is the donation update from our Director of Financial Services. So let me take a moment to congratulate you on your appointment.
Thanks very much. I do appreciate the support of council, and I'm excited to be
Great.
filling the role. So
Great. Well, hopefully we can continue to be worthy of your of your expertise on the committee. So over to you.
did you want to put the report up on screen?
The one from today or?
Yes, the one from today. So we do have an updated report for May for the committee since the fundraiser was held, which is a very exciting event. I was able to attend and it was very nice. I enjoyed the good food and exciting donations, and some of the speeches were very touching. I was very moved. So from the last report, the fundraiser successfully raised $27,859. I have a little bit higher amount because I have the HST taken out of the amounts that Jenna had given you, so the amount's a little higher. And then since that time, the total fundraising campaign has increased by $28,682. So that is good. On the next page, which is the year to date, it shows that this year, in 2022, the donations toward the campaign have increased by $111,020, and that does include pledges that are expected to come in, the $65,000. The Warden's Gala event is in there. And if there's any questions, I could answer them at this time.
Okay. Looking good. Any questions? And do we have another update? Yes, on the, so we'll come back to the gala a little bit later. But for now, overall, so it's been a little quieter, sort of the winter. We focused on the annual report, and then between COVID and technical disruptions, and like I said, the season that's not really conducive to being out there, out and about and organizing events. So I think the gala was a great way to kind of get back in the swing of things and get the campaign back on people's radar. So, yeah, so I think we're in good shape. Any questions, clarifications? Pete? I can't hear you.
My apologies. We were given another number as to the positive benefit burdens event, and the statement shows a significantly different number. Can somebody explain that?
Donations coming afterwards and sponsorships as well.
Right, so that was, you mean from the initial package that was sent out? Or do you mean at the event?
No, in the perhaps at the last, I can't remember whether we had the last meeting before or after the Warden's event. I think it was before, but I had heard a number that was more than double the 8,500 that the statement shows as far as the benefit from the Warden's event. Could the difference have been after expenses?
8,500 was the expenses.
So the actual donations was 36,407, and then the expenses were 8,500. So the net of the two is the 27,000.
My apologies. I wasn't reading the document properly.
That's okay.
I'm going to the optometrist tomorrow, so I'll work on that.
The
My
revenue
apologies.
part is showing separate from the expenses at the bottom, so I
Yeah,
just
copy-
tried to
copy.
keep that for clarity's sake.
Copy that. It's, Richard would be shaking his head because of my mistake.
But I'm glad, so, but it's good because it means others may have read it the same way, so it gets us a chance to clarify, make sure everybody's on the same page, so. Yes, so indeed, a very successful event. If there are no other questions, could I have a mover and seconder to receive this update, financial update? Amaryllis? And Ruth Ann? You want to call the vote?
Amaryllis Drilliard,
Yes.
Pete Barber,
Yes.
Jim Jenkins,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Karen,
Yes.
Richard Kasul,
Yes.
Counselor Jiguer.
Yes.
6-0, the motion is carried.
Okay, the next item in the briefings section is just an update to, even though this has happened, I think, back in January, we haven't had a meeting since. Or I guess we discussed this in January, brought it to council in February, and the resolution passed to modify our terms of reference and open up seats from council or other members of the community from all municipalities across the county. So, so that was indeed approved by council. And which is why we have Amaryllis here. We're happy about that. And so we still have some vacancies, but officially the terms of reference have been modified to reflect that. Any questions or comments? And we're still going to continue to nudge our fellow members of, my fellow members on council, but also I think we can all play a role if you do know people in the community. Sometimes, as you know, you just need a nudge or an invitation or a word of encouragement, or sometimes people are not aware that these opportunities exist. So I do encourage everybody to, and we have openings for additional community members on the committee or for volunteers. So that's, I think that's part of our role on the committee, is to bring others to have some fun with us, not just us who would have all the fun, right? So this one is just for information, or do we need to? Okay. So this one is an information item. The actual terms of reference were approved by council. So we'll move to fundraising strategies. So back in February, we agreed that it was time to update the website, and Catherine has gone ahead and done that. So we're focusing primarily on recreation items. So you will see that the site that we had up for Christmas season is now down, and now the items are reorganized, and there's a fresh list. And it's still on the list to update, like we talked about putting a full catalog, so I still need to meet with staff just to update the final, or the most up-to-date list of items that we're looking for, so that we can put it in a PDF format on the website as well for all of us and any member of the community to download. So right now, the catalog that's online gives you an idea of some of the items, but if somebody wants to see all of them, not just the ones that are featured, then we would have easy access to that. So that's in the works, and now that email access is a little bit more stable, then I think that we'll be able to get that done fairly quickly. Any questions on the website? I think we're good. Action items from February. See if I have my notes. Catherine, do you remember some of them on top of your head?
Yes. two. One were the events to attend. The other were the legacy brochures and getting the brochure holders.
Yes.
Which we did get. We didn't get as many as we need. We had to do a second order. There was a supply chain issue, I think. I think we just didn't have as many as we wanted, but we have purchased some of those plastic brochure holders, and the brochures have now made their way to the county building. We had them at the event
Right.
on display, and now the extras have made their way to the county building. So we just need to distribute those at our libraries and homes.
Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you for that update. Yeah, so the other item was, we were considering a list of events across the county, particularly this summer and this fall. I think our tourism office was going to look into that.
They did give me a list. They are still working on recruiting for an events student. So hopefully they'll have an event student soon, but they do plan on attending. There are a few events that are happening, and I have a list that I can circulate after the meeting as well. Carolyn from Economic Development put this list together for me. One is the Road to Culloden, which is at the Bacchus Cave House on this weekend. The Rosie Rhubarb Festival, which always happens in the second weekend in June in Shedden. The Dutton Night Market is coming up on June 18th. Wildflowers Farm, they are starting up their Friday night markets again in the coming weeks. I think maybe even this weekend might be the first one. The Great Lakes Air Show is returning to the St. Thomas Airport. The Seniors Picnic in the Park is in St. Thomas in July, and that is scheduled to return again after a few years of being canceled from COVID. Positively Elgin, which is a big dog festival. I took my dog once actually, in Springwater Conservation Area, so that's back in July as well. Bayham Beach Fest in Port Burwell, the Amer Fair, Railway City Music and Arts Festival in St. Thomas is in August. The Shedden Fair and the Heritage Farm Show at the Bacchus Page House in September, and then other events as they pop up. It's a little different this year than it has been in previous years, where Economic Development and Tourism would know well in advance all the events that were happening across the county and have a big listing in the tour guide. But just because of the precarious situation with COVID over the past couple of years, events are a little bit shy of scheduling too far in advance, I think. But these are the events that they know are happening this year, and they do hope to be hiring students soon and attending those events. And they said that they would be happy to have any of our brochures at their booth.
So what are your thoughts other than brochures? So I was thinking of maybe we can take a moment to brainstorm how and if there are ways that we want to maximize a presence. For example, if we map those on the calendar and see if there are members from the committee or other volunteers that would be interested in, attending the event to promote the campaign. And perhaps, I don't know what your ideas are in terms of, obviously we can accept donations right on the spot, but perhaps as a way to attract visitors, because sometimes just information, if I find if a booth doesn't have a specific attraction, like a reason to go and to the booth, then it may be harder to get people to visit us. So there are a couple of options. Like sometimes you see an opportunity to take a picture or enter a draw. I think we could look at a lottery if for example, just to get the conversation going. So if we have, because our theme is comforts of home. So imagine a big comfy chair that is, first off, when you're at a fair or at an event and you want to sit for a moment, we can invite people to get comfortable and sit. And as they're sitting, we can talk to them about the campaign, but it can also be a place to take a picture. And perhaps the chair is part of a patio set that would be the draw. So if we could find a donor, for example, who would have a full patio set. So come on down, have a seat, and enter the draw for, a small fee. And So that can be part of the donation, and then, so we make a little bit of money out of ticket sales. We could do the draw like at the end of the summer, for example. So something like that, like to give a reason to come to the booth and say, oh yeah, go over there, you can enter a draw for this patio set or something like that. But because this one idea to get started, because I would like to be a bit more proactive in terms of attracting visitors to the booth. What are your thoughts? And you've been to many events in the community, and like sort of what draws you, what would get you to go to a booth and receive some information?
Food is always a good drawing card. That's where
Food?
people eat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure logistically how that would work, but food is always a good drawing card.
Mm-hmm. So do you think we would sell food then? Could that be part of, so if we had donations? Then the logistics maybe, as you said, are a little bit tricky, but hey, nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work, but I'll keep it rattling around in my brain, and maybe I'll come up with something that might be interesting. I just always think when you want to draw people, food is a great way to do it. I'm just not sure how to do that. So I'll think on it a little bit.
Yes.
But somebody else can jump in if they've got a great idea.
Yes, any ideas? And yeah, we'd have to think about, because I agree, at a fair, like food or any event, food is always a draw. And yeah, whether we want to be offering food or be sometimes like I wouldn't want to compete with some of the vendors who are there like to showcase their food, but could be kind of we can promote somebody else's food through our booth. Jim?
Yeah, the concern I would have is that with the food restrictions that we have out there now, as far as serving it, etc., as far as health unit, etc., is concerned, it could be a real challenge for volunteers to put that together.
Yeah, and I've seen some events where it could be like wrapped, like cookies that are individually wrapped, and so maybe and then I always find at an event like the word spreads, like go to this booth, they've got really good, really good cookies, and that's what you want. Like you want to create a buzz of some sort. But okay, so that's food for thought. Haha. Richard.
How about music or having a screen playing some of our pictures in the background? I know we're now getting into electronics and wires and codes all over the place, but those could be other ways to attract people to the booth to even come and take a look, or even to begin asking questions.
Yes. Yeah, because you want to create a conversation. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all worth exploring, depending, like we can talk to economic development to see what electronics they bring, if they do.
They do have, I don't know if they bring it to outdoor events, but they definitely have a TV where you can plug a USB in to play a video or to play photos. We used it to connect to an iPad at our official plan review meetings, and I know that they do take it to trade shows. I'm not sure if they take it to the outdoor events with the student in the summer, but we can see what they take. I know they've got the tourism van that the back opens and it's brochure racks, and then they usually set up a table. They sometimes have a tent depending on how long they're going to be out and the weather.
Right. Okay, well, we can follow up and have a more specific conversation with economic development and run some of those ideas to see if we can help each other out. Other thoughts?
Dominic,
Yes.
what about back to the selling of tickets on an item? Would we have to have a lottery, a license for that?
Yes. Yes, and I think we had initially when we looked into that for online, it was a little bit more complicated, as you recall, but I think if we do it as a regular draw, we can have the proper license.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, even the 50/50s, and I guess we have to coordinate with the organizers of the event so that, again, we're not competing with draws that others might have, or maybe there is one already organized for the event itself. So just as a quick show of hands in terms of this committee, the committee members' willingness to go to one or two events this summer and later in the fall, is that, so at least we know we'd have some, okay. Good, good, good. Okay.
Councillor Jaguar, I was just thinking about, I was listening to everybody's ideas. I started with food, and somebody else said something about draws and music. We have a lot of local businesses, like, and I'm sure I know some in my area that might be willing to donate food package for draw items. Like there's the 7-Star Meats and Celtic Ridge, and there's a few other, and there's probably in everybody's area somebody that could possibly donate something like that, and that could go back to that draws.
Yes. So we can combine all of it. Food, you have comfort food.
Right.
Yeah, neat.
And then
Comments on that?
you're just making a draw for a package, so.
Yeah, like a basket or
Yes.
something. Yeah, yeah. Lovely. Yeah, definitely a prize of some sort. And if the prize is donated, then for sure, then all the proceeds from the ticket sales for the draw. And it is, like I said, the amount per se is not the biggest fundraiser source, but the conversation, like, and making connections in the community, and as you know, so far that's what's been most successful, is meeting people and then offering to give a presentation in their place of work or other organizations where they're involved, and yeah, so just a friendly way to meet people. So I think I'm hearing and seeing on screen a bit of interest and the possibility of, you know, divvying up the work. So how about we'll have a follow-up conversation with economic development to see if we can, what's the proper way to coordinate things and to coordinate with, and what they would recommend to coordinate with the organizers of the event. Sometimes there are fees involved with, so I don't know to what extent we would piggyback necessarily on the fee that the county is paying to attend the event. Catherine?
There might be an opportunity if we wanted if it is very low cost or no cost for a table, maybe we would want our own table.
Exactly.
And if there is already a cost associated that's being paid for by economic development to attend the event and promote tourism and economic development in the county, then maybe we could have our materials at that table as well if we're trying to keep the campaign costs down.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll follow up, and for sure, I think we'll need to make a decision by the next meeting, which would be, you know, early mid-June, and then because a lot of the events will be right after that. But then we can exchange a few emails just to fine tune some of these ideas. So if you have additional ideas or sources of donations, but it looks like the concept of a prize and a lottery. So we'll start putting all the details into place and including the calendar and where we would need volunteers. We'll start to map that out. And because depending on the prize, maybe we need more than one prize, like one per event. I was envisioning for if it was a much bigger prize, and there's nothing preventing us from doing both, where you draw at the end of the season, so you keep, selling tickets at each event for the same prize, or we have a smaller prize, but we have one at each event, and you do a draw at the end of each event. So we have options, but I think it's finally time to, the last 2 summers, there were no events. So I thought, so what's different this year? And there are some events. Let's go out there and raise awareness on about our campaign. So if everybody's good with that, we'll proceed. And we'll look at if there are any additional promotional materials that would be needed, like do we need our own banner, for example, if we have our own booth? So what does that mean? And there's probably, if we needed a table or like a canopy, is that something we can borrow from the county or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless they're already using it at the same event.
Right.
But otherwise there's a tent and
Yeah.
we have some tablecloths and various colors with the county logo from trade shows.
Great.
You might just need an iron.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
A portable iron. Excellent. Okay, so more to come on that and some, I'll look forward to some additional exchanges via email. And so by all means, if you think of any ways to sort of reach out to the community and be out there, we'll welcome those. Under other business, so let's go back to the Warden's Gala. Is Catherine, or you want to do the more details on the results, or is there additional information to share?
No, not too much additional information. The numbers that Jen presented are a little bit different, just slightly higher for the amount raised. She had a little bit more details and backed out the HST. So we are sitting around 27,800, which is amazing. We're very, very pleased with how the event went. It was a wonderful turnout. It was great to see so many people in person supporting Terrace Lodge. And it was wonderful to also be able to see These Hands art show that was put together by our staff at our long-term care homes. So they deserve a lot of credit for the work that they did, getting the photos taken and getting the book put together. It was under a grant from the federal government called the New Horizons Grant for seniors. And so they were able to produce a book called These Hands that features the hands of residents. I do this because a lot of them were doing this in the pictures, but they were beautiful black and white photography with the stories of residents and what their hands have done over the years. And it was very touching, and we were very pleased to be able to sort of officially celebrate the launch of that book with a beautiful art show at the Elmer Old Town Hall Theater, and then also downstairs in the Elmer branch of the Elgin County Library. And it was just a wonderful event, and we want to really thank the sponsors of the event that are listed in the report that you received in your agenda package. We couldn't have put on the event without the generous sponsors, and then of course the donors who attended the event. So I think that's pretty much in a nutshell what I have, but it was, a very good event. We were very pleased.
Mm-hmm. And I want to express a special thanks to Warden French. So as you know, the warden has the option of organizing any event and to choose a cause. So every year the warden can choose a different charity. So of course I couldn't be happier that of all the options and very, very worthy causes across the county, that this year the warden chose Terrace Lodge. So special thanks to the warden, and it was very nice to see many of you at the event, and members of the community. I think it turned out very well. Any further questions or comments? I think there are opportunities for fundraising that will sort of continue to trickle from that. So we have the opportunity to continue to print and frame the photographs. So we own the copyright of these photographs. And so we'll look at putting them for sale. I'm just thinking now that I say that, they could also be a prize for the booth. They're beautiful photographs, so it could be a prize that you enter for a draw to win one of the beautifully framed photographs. So, but we can also sell them and either future events, like do additional auction. And so that's an asset that we have. So we have some left from the event itself, and I think we're going to put them maybe at Terrace Lodge. There'll be discussions with the art gallery as well, who's offered to perhaps have them on display and for sale in their gift shop, and so all proceeds. So we can sell them at the homes, we can sell them in different locations, and with all proceeds going to Terrace Lodge. Yes. Amaryllis.
Are there additional copies of the book?
That I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if there are from the first print. There may be. Tanya is off this week, so she's unable to attend tonight, but she would be the person to ask. So I can reach out to her and see. I know that people who wanted to order an additional copy of the book were just reaching out to her through email.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it was beautiful, and I was just thinking that if we were at events, that copies of the book might be something that we might want to have with our promotional material. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, so let's look. That's true, and it's a very tangible and very moving piece. And so we'll look at, because as Catherine mentioned, it was through a grant, and there's some parameters in terms of, I think, prints and whether we can either sell or but maybe we can donate for a prize.
The first round of printing was paid for through the grant,
Okay,
but any additional ones that we may print, I believe we can sell.
nice.
But we'll confirm with Tanya.
Yes, so let's do a follow-up for our next meeting, because, so that's, again, another prize and another item we can sell at different events and different locations with proceeds. Yeah, so we can look into printing costs. In the past, we've had some success with getting donors to pay for printing. So there might be other print shops who are interested in that. Great, and printing the photographs as well, so, okay, nice, thank you for that. So yeah, so it's not only an event, but it's kind of like an event that will keep on giving and through the awareness and what it has created in terms of what I'll call sort of assets that we can use for the benefit of the campaign. Amazing. With a direct connection to the residents, as we've tried to always make sure that our everything that we do has that direct involvement from the residents. Wonderful. Any additional comments or questions? Okay, so I think this is a good example of any other, you know how different organizations, churches, like sometimes will, businesses every year will choose different charities to donate to. And, you know, I'm looking already thinking Christmas, and so this event reminds me again, so the warden is one example of having a choice of different charities. So I think as a committee, we can keep our eyes and ears open for when we know of other businesses or organizations who each year donate to a different organization. So then we can maybe raise our hand and get on their radar as well. Okay, thank you. Any correspondence?
No.
Okay. So shall we move into closed session? Could I get a? Yes. Thank you very much for being with us and your contributions. So mover and seconder to go in closed session to discuss personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal and local board employees. So main topic is our donor outreach update. Mover and seconder, Richard, Jim. And call the vote.
Amaryllis Drilliard,
Yes.
Pete Barber,
Yes.
Jim Jenkins,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Perrin,
Yes.
Richard Kasul,
Yes.
Councillor Jiguer.
Yes.
6-0, the motion is carried. I'll just go.
Okay. So we'll just take a moment to go off the live stream.
We're live.
Okay, welcome back. If I could have a mover and seconder for a motion to rise and report. Jim, Ruth Ann? Want to call the vote?
Amaryllis Drilliard,
Yes.
Pete Barber,
Yes.
Jim Jenkins,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Perrin,
Yes.
Richard Kasul,
Yes.
Councillor Jiguer.
Yes,
6-0, the motion is carried.
great. So if there's no other business, we'll,
To receive and file the donor's report from the
Yes.
closed session.
thank you. Can I have a motion to receive and file the donor outreach report? Jim and Amaryllis?
Amaryllis Drilliard,
Yes.
Pete Barber,
Yes.
Jim Jenkins,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Perrin,
Yes.
Richard Kasul,
Yes.
Councillor Jiguer.
Yes.
6-0, the motion is carried.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So if there's no other business, let's look at the date of our next meeting. So we have a little bit of homework to do between now and then. What would be a reasonable timeline?
So the third Monday is the 20th of June. Chambers will be used by Central 11 on the 13th and the 27th.
Okay. So our next opportunity would be the 20th of June. What does that look for everyone?
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yeah, great. Ruth Ann, does that look good?
That's fine.
Great. Amaryllis, yes. Pete, yeah,
So,
excellent, okay.
Yeah, that will be the longest day of the year, isn't it?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Well, it'd be nice to have sunshine, no matter how long the meeting is, there'll probably still be sunshine afterwards, so that's great news. Okay, so if we have our date of the next meeting, then I'll accept the mover and seconder for the motion to adjourn. Pete, Ruth Ann. Do you need to call the vote?
Amaryllis Drilliard,
Yes.
Pete Barber,
yes.
Jim Jenkins,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Perrin,
Yes.
Richard Kasul,
Yes.
Councillor Jiguer.
Yes.
6-0, the motion is carried.
Wonderful. Thank you again so much.
Dominique,
Yes, Jim.
I want to thank you and the staff for the work you do putting these meetings together and the work you're doing in the background. Thanks very much.
You're most welcome. My honor. It's a pleasure to working with the staff and this group. Everybody's so motivated by this cause. So let's keep going. Like I said, we think we do need a little boost of energy, but I think what we've discussed this evening will get us there. So thank you. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the rest of the evening. There's still sunshine today.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.